pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have all 4 board members present and 1 on the phone. Do we have any agenda items to table or remove?
We have none tonight.
Do we have a motion to accept the agenda as presented? Wow, Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mrs. King will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have the minutes from the September 22nd regular meeting. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. Mr. Reed will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have no delegations,
That is correct.
so recognition.
This evening, we would like to take a few minutes and recognize the Ritchie County Adult Education Program. It earned top state honors. And I want to just share a little bit about the award and about the program that we have. The West Virginia Adult Education Program empowers adults to build stronger futures by developing essential education and employment skills. These programs promote self-sufficiency, enhance quality of life, and open doors to opportunities, not just for individuals, but for their family and the community. The support that they receive is seamless, and it provides a transition to post-secondary education, workforce, employment, while providing vital literacy services for English language arts learners. What we would like to say today is, each year, the West Virginia Adult Education Association is proud to recognize programs that have excelled across multiple areas of impact. These include enrollment growth, contact and distance education hours, percentage of performance measures met, service to those most in need, educational functional level EFL completion, student retention, and attainment of industry recognized credentials. The 2025 awards were announced during the fall conference in Charleston. Ritchie County's adult education received full-time West Virginia Adult Education Program of the Year for their exceptional performance and unwavering commitment to the adult learners. And we've asked Misty Dawson to join us this evening. She is our AE instructor and coordinator, and she did accept this award at the state level on the department's program's behalf for the county. She's worked with Ritchie County over 33 years in our adult ed program. And the program has been very successful, and she has had good support from the community as well as from the Board of Education in making sure this program has been in place for many years. And we have had many students, including a couple of hers tonight, that joined her for this recognition. So I'd like to present Misty with a certificate of appreciation from our Board of Education. Congratulations. You'll get a picture.
Do you need a photo?
Yes, we do. And you can get up and take a picture. And Sonia, do you care to take a picture? Yeah. We need Tori though, she's joining us. Oh, you're going to join us in the picture.
I was going to take it.
No, you're joining Sonia's picture. I said come join us in the picture. I didn't hear right. But we like you in the picture too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for, I believe she said a little over 3 decades of service to the program. That's phenomenal. We really appreciate what you're doing to make sure that we have opportunities for all students. So, thank you. You can stay with us, but you do not have to. You want to find out what a board meeting, all the fun of a board meeting, you're more than welcome to stay with us.
The first thing is I'm gonna let you know that there will be information shared at our school over the next few weeks about 4-H in the county, as well as the Ritchie County Library programs that are available for our students. Second, you have in front of you a report. It is the accreditation report for the state of West Virginia. I've given you a copy of the entire report for you to look at. There are a couple things that I will point out in the report. It is called the County Approval Status and Accreditation for 2025. If you recall, there's two areas, efficiency indicators. One is operational effectiveness, and the other is for West Virginia balanced scorecard indicators of student performance and success. The efficiency indicators just came out last week. In this year, we do have a couple of areas where we have to write a plan. I guess they call it needs assistance indicator. One of our areas is that of transportation, and the other one is ESEA programs. And
Do we have those?
yes, did I say that right? Maybe I used the wrong words. Maybe it's the wrong. It's federal programs is what it is.
Oh, okay. ESU.
Yes, ESEA. You made me think for just a minute. It's federal programs.
My brain was doing ESL.
Okay, so we had a federal programs on-site last year, and we knew with a couple of things that they found there, that our new person in that position would have to write a couple of plans of improvement. Most of the things that we found, they found when they were here on the physical on-site were corrected at the time, but there were a couple little things, and even if they had found it and we corrected them, because they were a finding, we would have shown up on this report. Not every county has that at the same time. So next year, another group will have a more detailed, in-depth look at their ESEA programs. The other one is transportation, and again, we have a new person in that department. We will be meeting with the inspector and as well as the person at the State Department over transportation so that we can clarify where we need to move forward and what our areas of improvement need to be. So when we start working through those processes, when the directors come to do their presentations, they will go over that with you as well. So tonight, I'm just letting you know that that is where we finished up. If you look on the balanced scorecard indicators, we are not on any watch. We need no support and no services. So academically, we fared extremely well. We fared well in the other. When I called the State Department the other day, because I was like, oh no, panic. They're like, okay, you got a B. But I don't like a B, I want an A. So we're gonna do better in these areas. And so I will we will focus on the areas that say that we need assistance. Some of them are pages of things, like if you ask, Sonia has figured out in some of her departments, the indicators are like multiple pages of if you attend this, you get so many points. If you signed out early, you lose so many points. And it's a point system in each of the departments. So the new directors then will also be educated on that. If you do look, transportation is an area that became more of an issue across the state.
Nearly 20 counties that have it.
Yes, with transportation, sometimes it's with new, maybe they put in a new framework of how they counted the points. It may be a new inspector that comes in that does a little different than the last one. And so they did say in the state report that came out that the one area that seemed to be on many people's radar for this year is transportation. We happen to be one of them. But I don't want to just, and so because I look at it that way, I don't want to just go to those two. I also want to go to compliance issues or compliance in our county and where we are extremely efficient, and that is our CTE, child nutrition, your effectiveness, as well as facilities, finance, personnel, special ed, state required for data collection, and the universal pre-K readiness. So even though I indicated the two that we know we have to focus on, I also want to stress that there are 11 categories and there are 9 of them which we have performed extremely well in. So I wanted to state that as well. And then also the balanced scorecard has 11 indicators, and in those 11 indicators, we had no findings in any of those. So I just
Right, that
wanted
would be a B, 9 out of 11.
I'm glad you told me. She said, you're the people that call.
You're the ones who called because you want an A.
I want an A.
Let's see, if you get.
I got, okay, I missed 2 out of 22. But that's too many. So, but, and not to do it lightly either. There's a reason they do indicators, there's a reason they make sure that we fall compliant. You know, transportation is important. There are some things within some of these programs we can't control. It may include employees, using your mechanics as drivers. You might lose points for that. There's some things we may not be able to address 100% because we don't have personnel. But we will let you know the details as we find it
The
out.
last time we had a concern about transportation, it was also about the age of some of our buses, so we've been working on parts of that.
Yes,
as
we
well.
have.
I believe we also had a concern about our facilities, and we are
Working on that.
as well. So I don't believe this is new to us. We knew we were on a watch previously for this, and that's why we've been trying to invest a little more into transportation efforts. So it's okay, we're going to get there.
That's correct.
Yes.
That is correct. But I did want to share with you, as you see on this report, you can see all the counties, and it shows areas. I think there were only a couple counties in the state that were at 100%. I think there were 2 across the board. So I feel like we probably fared fairly well, only having the 2 indicators. But as always, no matter what our goal is, we want to do the best that we can for kids, and we will focus on that and get better. So I just wanted to share that with you all today. The next thing on my list that I want to share is fall dates. I left that in front of you all. I gave you a bunch of dates for October, November. Was there any other questions on that report before I move forward? In front of you, you have dates of things that are coming up, October, November, December, and part of January. I gave you a long list right now because there's a lot of things happening in the school system, whether it be Christmas programs, veterans programs, when sports begin for winter sports at the middle school and the high school level, some career days that we're having, Halloween parties are coming up, and then we go into the Christmas breaks and Thanksgiving breaks, and when kids are in and out of school, and I just thought there were a lot of things on there that it was time to give you a comprehensive list, and I will keep that up every week so that you'll know what's coming up. And one of the dates that I want to point out right now is currently we have 4 of our golfers at the state golf tournament, and we wish them well. I stopped by this morning as they were pulling out and talked to their coach and wished him well on their trip, and they are in Wheeling. They had a practice round today, and that's Carson Hull, Jacob White, Talon McBrayer, Jonathan Freeland, and they will compete starting tomorrow and Wednesday. So I wanted to let you know and wish those gentlemen good luck at the state golf tournament. And then the last thing that I have on here is updates about our communication tool. As we shared with you, we got it out a little later than what we wanted to, so we've kind of done a push here early to make sure that we have use of what we call rooms. Currently, we have 80%, possibly a little more than that, of teachers actively using it on a regular basis. On September 19th, we had an administrative PD on that, as well as a work session, and then we had a follow-up work session October 16th. When I said 80% or more, teachers' aides are listed in there and secretaries are listed in there because of some of the things they do at the school, but they're not part of the staff of the teacher component.
So you will have it on October 16th?
Yes,
Okay.
it's on our schedule. Yes, that's this week.
Yes,
Yes,
this
this week,
Thursday.
yes. 96% of those teachers, of the ones that we just said are enrolled, have used it in September. An average of 3 to 4 announcements per person per month. Teachers have had one-on-one sessions on rooms with the TIS. And today, teachers had a PD on rooms as well as a work session. 66% of the students have at least one guardian active in rooms. It counts mom and dad. So 66% of parents are active. 716 students, that makes more sense, of our little over 1,000 students, their parents are enrolled in the program. schools have had some parent meetings about rooms, and 96% of the parents activated have been active in rooms the month of September. So we can go in rooms and have them pull us a monthly report to see how we're doing using the program. I was with one of our employees today after we were having a session, and she goes, I just heard from 2 more of my kids' teachers, because in the session we were teaching them how to send out more messages. And so that's what we'll continue to do, is to encourage this as our means of communication, so that we can, we will bring a policy in front of you about communicating with students, parents, guardians. That will be coming soon. So I wanted to let you know that it is a success. When we talked to the people that run the program, they said for the time frame when we started it to where we are now, that we are doing an excellent job. They feel like our numbers are very high this early on. So we appreciate parents for jumping in and learning how to do it. They've called, we've helped them download it. We worked with a couple parents today with it, so that they can use it for communication. We have teachers that post their daily notes for kids. Parents and kids get reminders about quizzes and tests. I think it is our coaches are using it. I think it was a good investment, and I think it will, as it grows throughout this year, it will just make us better and make us reach out to more people in a safe manner. So
Do
that, go ahead.
other counties have this, or just certain ones?
I think certain ones, but this is part of the packet that where we buy our website and our all-call system. I know that like Wood County uses it. I don't know how many other counties around us use it, but yes, and like at our fall conference, our summer conference for superintendents and directors, they did a session on it. So I think it's becoming, it's just a good, safe avenue for us to use for communication. And so the last thing I just wanted to point out, you all have in front of you, Teresa provided you a list of the School Board Association meetings for the year, because there is one coming up in November. And I know that their hours have changed for you all. So I just wanted to remind you of those, give you that as an update. I also put it on your fall list that I did for your November date on that chart. But just wanted to remind you that that is coming up, and make sure you communicate with Teresa your interest if you plan to go to that. And that's all I have this evening.
Might I tell you, as the president-elect of the West Virginia School Board Association,
Is that you?
that you all need to attend some meetings to get your hours. And the November meeting I sit on the executive committee, so every other Friday I get a 2-hour phone call with them as well. So you're missing out on a lot of fun. I also have been named as the co-chair of the new Economic Development Committee for the School Board Association. You are so lucky. I know, I'm so lucky.
Congratulations, really. I mean, we joke about it. Good.
I know.
That's a good thing.
So we have Deputy Secretary Christine Davies, who will be at the November session, and she's going to do a training on economic development and the importance of school systems in attracting companies to the state. And then we will have a more intense training about that, hopefully with Secretary Harridge in February. So you can just note that we play a role in improving the entire community.
We're proud of you.
No, not me, I'm talking about
I know, but
us.
we're just still proud of you.
Thank you for representing us.
My pleasure. Okay, so up next, we have director reports, and we are going to start with our chief instructional leader, Jacob Clevenger.
Every lady side by side, one makes it one long sheet.
You want my back?
No, you're good. I got one. Yes, ma'am. All right. A few different things this evening that I will go over. I do not have a fancy presentation because my dad had an appointment in Morgantown, and I'm sped to get back here in time. But I'll start with our beginning of the year data, a few things that we're kind of excited about to go over right now. And the sheet that I handed you, I'll go over next, which is our enrollment. So beginning of the year data-wise, We talked a lot last year at the end of the year about really trying to start a new initiative and push particularly our kindergarten kids in a forward direction to make sure we kept that going consistently through. So we were really excited this year when our data came out. Our first grade students performed really well on the beginning of the year assessments, a lot based on what we did in kindergarten last year. So trying to build that foundational piece up and work from there. We talked a lot last year about how at the end of the year, our kids were 81% proficient in phonemic awareness, which was our main kindergarten indicator. And then this year, these students came back and they were 83% proficient at the beginning of the year in first grade. So we kind of got them to a point where we didn't see a slide of them over the summertime, which is something that typically does not happen. In addition, with our first grade students at the beginning of the year, their reading fluency scores were 11% higher than this time last year. Again, which shows the work that we kind of put into kindergarten and building that foundation from the ground up. So as far as our DIBELS testing goes, that was something we were really excited about from our beginning of the year data. Our second, third, and fourth grade students also did their iReady assessments. Based on where we were at this point last year, we were 3% higher in math than we were this time last year and 6% higher in ELA. Both of those were 49% and 53% proficient, so if we were kind of project those out, would be somewhere near the 60 to mid 60% range by the end of the year, which again would be higher than where we were last year as well. Also, the IXL at the middle school has been a great thing for us. I think it's kind of given the students a renewed buy-in to testing and diagnostics and things like that. We've also really stressed with them that this isn't a program that we're just going to put you on to teach you. We're using this as a program to get data for ourselves, to put adults in front of them to teach them. So in the past, sometimes with iReady, it was there's a computer program to teach you more things sometimes, and we've kind of shifted that, particularly at the middle school, to just gather information and put adults in front of kids that are tooled with the right things they need to do to make kids successful. So at the middle school, they were 54% proficient in math and 53% proficient in ELA. That would be higher than both of those were last year as well, and projecting somewhere in around the 60% mark for the middle school as well. So for reference sake, at the end of last year, we kind of finished on summative assessments around the 50% mark. So that would be a 10% growth if that projects out the way that it probably should. Most years, 2-3% growth would be high. I think last year 8% led the state. So pushing a lot of things, making sure that we're not doing more things, we're just kind of fine-tuning the things we do and really focusing on things that we know work for kids. Mrs. Hott and I both had the opportunity today, I would say, between the two of us, to see face-to-face almost every teacher in the county today, between the two of us, and had really good conversations with a lot of people. And I think people see kind of where this is headed and are excited and eager about that. And personally, I think one of the better days that I've had working with teachers and the conversations that we were able to have with them. So data-wise, very excited about that. On the second part of that was the literacy initiative, so that kind of just ties in. Last year we focused a lot on kindergarten. This year we're kind of articulating that up to first grade, second grade, third grade, on the way through. We have noticed that we have to get kids to a higher percentile so they don't lose things over time. Kind of the example I gave was COVID. A lot of teachers at that time had kids on that week. If they would have quizzed them on Friday, they probably knew it, but when they came back after 4 or 5 months, they didn't. So getting the kids to that point to where if for some reason they didn't have instruction for a period of time, they know when they come back, not just temporarily. And we've realized that sometimes our benchmark scores that we purchase aren't at that level, so we've kind of created our own standard that we're trying to get kids to, and we're seeing really good results from that. So we'll continue to push that initiative forward, and we expect good results out of that. The last part of this would be enrollment.
Before you go to that, can you let them know how many's in the literacy or the letters program and how we're doing this cohort?
Yeah.
And how many finished groups? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Give them, because that is a literacy initiative that we're using, and I'd like them to have an update.
Yeah. So letters training is something that we're going through right now. The state purchased letters licenses, which is learning English, teaching reading skills. They're through Lexia. We use Lexia as a program for foundational reading skills for students. But Lexia is the company that runs the biggest literacy kind of professional development in the world, probably, I would say, not just the country. So the legislature paid for licenses for teachers to do this. we wrote a grant and received grant funding to be able to pay them a stipend. The state did not provide a stipend with that. So we wrote a grant, I believe we received $35,000 around to be able to provide them each $1,000 stipend, $500 for each part of that program. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Our people we have right now, around 20 people in part 1 that are doing that. There'll be a new sign up in December that we're going to try to get several more on. We also have pre-K teachers that they just opened up that will be doing, we get 2 licenses to put pre-K teachers through early foundational literacy skills, not reading in their classrooms, but how to have conversations, how spoken language develops reading skills, and things of that nature. And then we also have 1 principal currently going through the administrators letters training as well. And 1 person that started before who came from another county was partially finished and now is finishing part 2 with us. So by the time it's all done, we should have around 30 to 40 teachers who will have completed this program, which will be the bulk of that. It's only eligible for K through 3 teachers, so that will cover most of our teachers. And then we have cohort meetings where we kind of talk about the lessons they're doing, talk about how they're implementing them in their classrooms, and different strategies that they can take from that. But all of the people have had, and I'm going through the administrator one myself as well, and it's been excellent, and I think our people are really benefiting from that. Ms. Snodgrass is doing it at Harrisville as well with me, and she is taking several things from that, implementing them in their school, which will make a positive change. So we're very excited about that as well. As far as enrollment goes, you can kind of see if you lay your sheets side by side, the way that it kind of reads, and the colors will show you the cohort. So when you see a cohort lost, that is from pre-K all the way until they graduate, the number of kids they started with and the number of kids they ended with. Various reasons, sometimes you get some, you lose some, they come and go, but you will see kind of over time, kind of consistently, we lose those. Average of 14 kids from the time they're in pre-K to the time that they graduate high school. Most of those are students who would move out in today's world. They go to virtual academy, homeschool, whatever it may be. So over time, kind of losing around 14 of those per cohort. And then on the other sheet that does not have the colors, you can kind of look and see the enrollment from last year to this year, which was 21 students fewer than it was this time last year, and the percent change that kind of increases, or that entails. So pre-K through 4 numbers, elementary numbers are kind of holding steady. Middle school is actually up. We have a really big, that's mainly due to a really big 5th grade class that we have this year that came from the elementary school, and then high school is down a little bit. So we have large pre-K and K numbers this year, and then a large 5th grade class, but most of those are in somewhere in that 70 to 80 range, and then you can look and see that K and 1 this year are at 87 and 88, and with the exception of 5th grade, much higher than some of the others. So it's kind of something that we had projected out. I think that we had projected it to be somewhere around the 11-15 mark this year, and there's 11-10, so that changes daily almost with kids coming and going, but I'm kind of hovering around that 11-10 mark right now. So again, something that we're aware of and something that we kind of keep a monitor and an eye on, so we can make decisions based on that. Are any questions regarding enrollment?
This is also a focus at this time because of our October enrollment, and we've got all of our data cleaned that has been submitted, and just waiting for the final this week.
Yep.
to submit the final data. So, and our principals and our secretaries have done a wonderful job.
Exceptional.
An exceptional job. A list came out of all the people that had errors, and it's one of those lists we were not on. I was like, we are not there.
A list that you don't want to see your name on, we were not.
We were not there. We were excited because they have done such a remarkable job. And one of the pushes for us was, it's all tied also to rooms, and it's also tied to them checking their grades. Data had to be accurate this year for parents to be able to use some of our software.
I'll mention too, it wasn't on there, but as far as the grade books go, Weavis Gradebook, I participated at parent-teacher conferences for the middle school, high school, was able to help a few parents who are still having a couple issues get logged in. As they say, no news is good news sometimes. I think people probably wish they had their live grades back, but we haven't had major issues with our change. So we've been available to answer questions and things like that. And I think for the most part, when you change something for the first time in 20 years, it's probably going as well as it could have. So that's all that I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next, we have Sonia Hott, the Director of Student Support Services.
Hello. So this year, our county is focused on strengthening meaningful family partnerships to support student achievement, meet Title I requirements, and align with our strategic goals. So the county-wide community and family events support families across all schools and build positive school-to-community connections. Some of our completed events include the Back to School Bash, where we supplied backpacks for students, our open houses, which were held at each school, parent-teacher conferences, the Ritchie County Ambulance Authority Supply Drive, and the FRN Family Fun Bash. And the following we have upcoming, we have Trunk or Treat and the Haunted Hallway at the middle high school. All schools are having a Veterans Day program with the exception of the high school. Thanksgiving Day meal baskets and breakfast with Santa. And then student and family transition support activities help students and families navigate key academic milestones and reduce transition anxiety. And some of those were our step-up days where the 4th graders came to the 5th grade and the 8th graders went to the 9th grade. And then we had middle school transition camp and freshman transition camp. The Moftai Career and Technical Center visits, which start in 8th grade, some go 9th grade and 10th grade. The FAFSA nights and college and technical school visits. And each one of our Title I schools will host 2 to 3 family events throughout the year, which are called Parent and Family Engagement Nights. HES has already completed one of theirs for this year, and their theme was Grilling with the Gators, and they had an exceptional turnout for it. While the other schools are still going to plan theirs, and they're going to have one in the fall. The fall book fair has been completed at all Title I schools, and the spring one is already booked. They have PTO meetings, LSIC meetings, and we have had a Brooms parent information session at each school as well. These events promote literacy, academic support, family connection, and school involvement. And then we also have family connected student enrichment events planned to encourage career awareness, life readiness, and parent partnership, which include our Teen Issues Day, the Reality Store, the Community Service Day for seniors, and college and career days. So overall, we're proud of our progress, and we will continue to expand on our family engagement model.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have the consent agenda.
I ask that you approve the 5 items listed on the consent agenda: volunteer driver commitment, volunteer commitment. We're always glad to keep seeing those come in lieu of transportation, breakfast with Santa, a partnership with North Bend that will be December 13th, and the middle school winter sports schedule for boys basketball and girls basketball. Ask that you approve those as listed on the agenda.
The superintendent is requesting that we approve the consent agenda items as stipulated on the record. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mrs. Keene will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. So, when you look at the schedule, they start at different times, apparently. Winter sports?
Yes.
Is that based on the
WVSSAC's.
interesting? Okay.
They set the date of when things start, so they're listed on their middle schools.
Well, the middle school girls starts the week before the
Yeah,
middle
that
school
is
boys,
correct.
and the high school girls starts the week before the high school
That is
boys.
correct.
Is it like set off a week or something? I feel like we're starting late.
Just follow the rules.
Just follow the rules.
Yeah. All right, I would actually ask that we now consider O before we consider personnel. So if you could consider, if you flip down to O on your agenda. motion to return to regular session. Mr. Nelson makes the motion, Mr. Reed will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Alright, we are now back in regular session, and we wanna start first with personnel resignations.
Under personnel resignations, I ask you to approve the resignation of Selena Elder, social studies teacher, Ritchie County Middle School, and Angela Marple, substitute teacher.
Do we have a motion for approval of the resignations as stipulated on the record? Mrs. King makes the motion, Mr. Reed will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have a resignation submitted after publication.
A resignation again of a substitute custodian, Damian Grunter. I ask that you approve his resignation.
We have a motion for approval. Mr. Reed makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we will move on to employments.
Under employment, we have, to approve an employee for a leave of absence, for FMLA as stated. And then we have a full-time employee, Greta Kindler, being added as an ECAT at, in a special ed aid at Smithville. A transfer, Bailey Boley, to cook 2 at the middle school, high school. Abigail Janchek is going to become our spelling bee coordinator. Zach Foster is a transfer to a different bus route, and Belinda McCroskey will fill a leave of absence. Also, we asked G through K that you approve recensions for a variety of reasons, including not meeting certification. They were hired pending meeting certain things in which they have not done. So I ask that you accept those and approve those as stated on the record.
All right, the superintendent is requesting that we approve the employments and rescissions as stipulated on the record. Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have a consideration and possible action on the superintendent's recommendation that a board ratify a one-day paid administrative leave of service personnel employee at Great Falls Elementary School.
I ask that you approve by ratifying a one-day paid administrative leave for Jimmy Keener, a service personnel employee at Creek Collins Elementary School.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion. Mrs. King will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have payment of bills in the amount of $717,516.81. Do we have a motion for approval of payment of bills? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. Mrs. King will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have financial requests.
Under financial request, this is the time of year that you have 2 different type of carryovers for supplements. One is a carryover supplement and the other is a regular supplement. The carryover supplement is basically just putting the money back in the budget for this year, and that's what's listed on the carryover supplement sheet. The second supplement is in April and May when we build the budget. We then get the actual amounts, we look at our carryover, and these adjustments need to be made based on those figures that come in. Also on this one, we had to change the communities and schools, and we reversed it out of the budget because the state of West Virginia told us what code to put it in, and then they changed what code they wanted it in. So we had to reverse it back out to put it in its correct code. So those are the supplements, and then we only have one transfer, and this is carryover to the original budget. It's an adjustment, and it is also for communities and schools. I ask that you approve those as stated on the record.
And we also have the approval of.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Yes, and we also ask that at the same time that you approve Jarrett Construction from Charleston, West Virginia. They were the sealed bid award winner for the transportation building. The amount of $1.6 million effective, and I can get all number, $1,656,819 effective October 14th. Pending all post-bid paperwork is completed in accordance with the contract documents.
Superintendent is recommending that we approve the financial request as she has just described. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Reed makes the motion, Mrs. King will second. Is there any discussion?
When will they be able to start?
They have 24 hours to get the first set of paperwork in after this is approved this evening. And then they have 72 hours to get the next set of paperwork in, but it is to start in October. It's kind of two phases. The first phase is to make sure that we still have the electric and the things that we need to function throughout this winter reestablished and set up, and then they will do the tear down and then they will start the project. But they have to guarantee us that we can still use all of our electric up there as well as our gas pumps as well.
Do you recall the amount of days of the contract?
I know they have until May to complete it.
Till May? All right, any further questions? If not, the motion is on the floor. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We already did our personnel executive session, so request for agenda items for the next board meeting. Any board member committee reports? All right, our next regular meeting will be held on Monday, October 27th at 6 o'clock. Do we anticipate having any meetings before then?
Yes, we do. And one is, we posted one today. We will have a special meeting October 16th.
Okay.
And there's and one October 20th as well.
October 20th.
Yes.
Okay, I hadn't said anything to you guys about that yet because I wasn't sure. So we may have some disciplinary hearings for students, correct?
Correct.
On both October 16th and October 20th, both at 6 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, so please make sure you have those on your calendar. And then our next regular meeting will be held Monday, October 27th at the Ritchie County Board of Education office. The time is 7:14. Do we have a motion for adjournment? Mr. Nelson makes a motion. Mrs. King, that was a thumb. A second?
I was gonna do it, and I didn't wanna take it from you.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Andre.